Perhaps seperti gimana solusi?
We have a ceremony for the opening ceremony first. Yes. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished guests, good morning and welcome to the candidacy visit of IACPE in the beloved. My name is Alif Safira. I'm honored to welcome you all to this momentous occasion as we gather here for the IACPE for the University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas. This event holds great significance in our pursuit of academic excellence and commitment to continuous improvement in education. We are privileged to have with us today the esteemed guests and the distinguished representative from IACPE for joining us today of quality and accountability in our educational programs. Accreditation is evidence of our dedication to providing students with a world-class education that prepares them for success in an ever-evolving global landscape. It signifies our commitment and excellence standards. Today, we embark on a journey for international accreditation, marking the culmination of rigorous self-assessment, peer evaluation, and a commitment to continuous improvement. This process reflects our dedication to ensuring that our programs exceed the expectations and standards set forth by IACP. I'm pleased today in this candidates navigate this accreditation journey. Let me also warmly welcome to the international accreditation team of the University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas, and I'm confident that today's proceeding will lead us one step closer to achieving our accreditation journey. Opening remarks, including the singing of the Indonesian national anthem, and followed by a welcoming speech by the rector of the University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas. From 9 a.m., we will start with the entrance meeting to discuss the day's agenda and interest identify areas from the evaluation form until 10:15. A brief 15-minute break will follow, allowing participants to run until 12. We will begin by introducing and discussing the institution commitment to supporting business and accounting programs. Subsequently, we will engage in a substantive discussion with the focus topics in the self-study process assessment and curriculum development. After the presentation, we will provide lunchtime from 12 until 1 p.m. After the break, the next agenda will be a campus tour for 1 hour until 2 p.m. Lastly, to conclude the day, we will return to this room to summarize the discussion, listen to the BOC review of the candidacy status, and get an overview for the first accreditation process. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue the next agenda, let's begin this moment by singing the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. For all the distinguished audience, Indonesia
Indonesia tanah airku, tanah tumpah darahku. Di sanalah aku berdiri, jadi bangun hidupku. Indonesia kebangsaanku, bangsa dan tanah airku. Marilah kita bersatu, Indonesia bersatu. Hiduplah tanahku, hiduplah negeriku, bangsaku, rakyatku semuanya. Bangunlah jiwanya, bangunlah badannya, untuk Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang tercinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang tercinta. Indonesia Raya, merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya.
Thank you, and please come back to the seat. We kindly invite the Rector of the University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas to deliver the welcoming speech. To Dr. Yudi Sudarso, the time is yours.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable guest, Dr. Lauri, thank you for your coming welcome in my university, Universitas Hayam Wuruk Perbanas. I hope you enjoy in all activity with us. And also all of team international accreditation for our university. First of all, let's thank God for giving us healthiness and opportunity to meet in this room in order to continue our dream about global vision. I like to know to you that one of our vision is global. The word is global. It means that our students have to be people in global area, not only in Indonesia, and can be people that work in other countries. And one thing that we need to do that is our standard in education have to be global standard. So the importance of this vision, one requirement is we have to get international accreditation, and we choose ERCPE to implement the day after tomorrow. It will be very productive for us, and also we can enjoy a lot of activity, and even though we will have hard work, yeah. And I think it's okay because we ready to do that, and I hope all of our activity will be beneficial for us and for our university. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Yudi, for the welcoming speech. Ladies and gentlemen, before continuing the agenda, we will have a photo session to capture these memorable moments and express our appreciation for the valuable contribution throughout the day. For Dr. Laureates, we invite you to take a position in front of the backgrounds. And for all the international accreditation team, please join the photo session by taking the available position.
Oh, dengan pakai keputusannya nasib namanya.
Itu saklarnya mana ya?
I asked permission to share some
Bisa. Oh ya, senyumnya. Smile.
Okay. Three, two, one, keep smile. Is your master? Okay, three, two, one, keep smile. Okay. Okay, three, two, one, smile. This one more, freestyle. Okay. Three, two, one, smile. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I miss my angels. Very nice.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So we have completed all the opening ceremony session. So after this, we will move to the main agenda, the entrance meeting of candidacy visit. For this session, I thank Dr. Rory and the University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas for joining today opening ceremony of the candidacy visit. I'm Alif Safira. I'm very honored to be the master of ceremony, and I hope to meet you on the other occasion. Well, for the next, please join me in welcoming Dr. Luciana Spika Albilia, the chair of the accreditation team of the University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas. Dr. Lucy, the time is yours to lead us further into this enlightening discussion.
Shall I speak? So I get my notes. Yes. And glasses, yes. How much time do we set this? Okay. It's 60 from an hour. Yeah, an hour. Yes. Because otherwise they will be more.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That we have the first section of our candidacy visit. The first one is of the review of the outcome assessment plan that we have to do, and then maybe there is some comment from Dr. Lori about our project of the outcome assessment plan, and after that, maybe to Dr. Lori, maybe there is some information that you would like to ask to Dr. Lori. Okay, maybe that for the review of the outcome assessment plan, that you have give us some comment.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for your welcome. I greatly appreciate all of you and all of your hard work. So please feel free to ask questions as we go. If something is not clear, please let me know, and we will try to explain, because some of this is very detailed, and some of you will have worked on parts of it, but not other parts, so it may be confusing, yes. And I will let Dr. Luciana watch for questions for me. Okay, thank you. All right. So your candidacy required a number of documents, and so we're going to go over those. Our goal is to have your submission as perfect as possible so that our Board of Commissioners will allow you to move forward quickly towards full accreditation. So the work that you've done is already excellent, and now we're going to even do more. Okay. First one was what we call the candidacy application, part 2. So, and feel free, if you have access and you want to pull them up on your computer, you can. And also, if you prefer, you can pull them up and present. This welcome to
the diploma in accounting and diploma in finance and trading, because we already submit the 2 of business program.
the last 2. And then as you move to the next page, the 2 programs are also included in the table, so we need to delete those there as well.
And then
Yes.
yeah.
Perfect. Yes. this otherwise that was in the application for candidacy. One of your programs is listed as Bachelor of Islamic Economics. In the Outcomes Assessment Plan, it's listed as Bachelor of Sharia Economics.
Yes.
So we need to know which is the exact title and make it the same in both places, yes? So which is correct? Okay, so then I believe the only place it is incorrectly listed is on the application. Okay. Very easy, yes. You know, normally when to correct, but here we do not. So this is a very enjoyable process for me. And I don't need that today. Okay. Because that will take a while, yes. I'm hoping that anything extra that you want to send my way, I could have by either Friday or the following Monday. So a week from today. Is that perfect?
Yes, we have English friendly.
Okay, excellent. So I can, we can do excellent. For all of those of you who worked on that, thank you very much, very much. That is all I have on the application. Later, I have qualification for those.
And also I have including in others, but they have a certification for the lecturer in Indonesia. Before that, we have to.
And then what do this housekeeping and
Okay, property.
I have a question on the subject area or subject teaching here. I'm graduate from economics of cultural progress. In previous, like in Indonesia, there is no management subject. But lately, now, there is the management also responsible to teach and the people. Is it should be management?
the government, it should be something, Wednesday or on the next day talking about how to create those instruments, which you have some that are very good, and make sure that it's, so if with your mission for your, and then everything that you create for your assessment comes from here. So it's telling you and your students and what you want your students to accomplish when they leave this university, okay? So from the mission statement, so in other words, if I am a parent and I come to you and say, what will my son or daughter be or have when they leave your student learning goals, which if we scroll down to the next table, let's see. Thank you. So the broad-based goals should be, they should not be measurable. They should be aspirational. They should be visionary, right? So we tend to use words like students will be, students here, that can be measured. So we want to replace those with broader, more visionary words. So for instance, analyze. If I asked you to look at a student's work where they were asked to analyze a business problem, you could rate that, you could grade that, you can assess that, right? So that would be a good learning outcome. But here in the broad-based, so we might say the words that we might want to use could be will be knowledgeable in business and banking problems and business problems and solutions. So being knowledgeable, you can't really measure that. I know it feels like you can as educators, but it's hard to know what's in someone's head, right? What we will ask them to do is demonstrate what's in their head. So they will answer questions or solve a problem. And so that will be down the road. Okay. And tomorrow we'll look at these and go through some exercises to help with creating a little bit different. Okay, any questions? Yes, please.
Can we have more than one attribute in one sentence? Like, the students will be able to critical thinking and behaving. Or let's say more than one attribute, the students are able to be responsible and optimistic about the future. Okay, so can we have more than one attribute?
Excellent question, thank you. In the broad visionary goals, yes. In the next step, where we are measuring, we measure one thing at a time. Just like our research, if you have a hypothesis that has multiple things in it, and it's hard to know which altered your data, right? So for this, for the broad-based goals, yes. Because think about speaking to that parent. Your student, your child will develop critical thinking. Okay.
Okay, just to confirm, so we can do that as the goal. Then when we measure, we need, like, if one sentence has two attributes, then we have two attributes for measurement.
Correct, you can only end, so let's scroll down and look at them, okay? Yes. If you want to scroll down, please, to the next one. It should be, let's skip operations for now and keep scrolling down. Okay, we're going to go to the next page. And the next page. And one more, please. Excellent, thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. I know it's very foreign. This. Pardon? Okay, so each of your programs is developing measurable student learning outcomes that come from those broad-based goals we just talked about, okay? And so you can see here, we ask that you decide which ones are most important for each major or each degree. You decide how many you want to measure, okay? We do ask that you cover the IACPE key learning outcomes, which are areas that we feel businesses in a global world, students would need to have covered in their curriculum, okay? 5 to 7 learning. If you look at number, students will comply, ethical or apply, ethical and legal principles in making their organizational decisions, right? So can we measure that? Yes, absolutely, right? We can measure it in different ways, right? We could even ask them to look at a case study and apply ethical principles and values to that and come up with ethical solutions. And so then below that, you'll see it says broad-based student learning goals. So we're linking this one measurement to one of those broad visionary goals that we just talked about. Okay, so we want to make sure that all of your broad-based goals are linked or measured in some way. Okay, and then the last line is linking this measurement, this learning outcome, to one of the IACBE learning outcome domains, okay, which happens to be ethics and legal aspects of business. And this will make more sense tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll go through this in more detail and we'll keep referring back to this. So this is just a quick overview. So if you haven't worked on this process in depth, it will seem confusing, and that's okay. It's okay to be confused right now. Okay. So let's look at one more. Number 2. Okay, so this says students will develop concepts, theories, etc. So one of the things that's very important in program accreditation is that you are measuring students at the very end of their program. Okay? So we want to know, after all these years, have they met a standard, your standard? Okay? So if they're developing, they're not there yet, right? They're in the process. So developing is more of a longitudinal type of measurement, whereas a word that says something that they can do at the end is more of a point in time type of measurement. So instead of students will develop, it could be students will apply concepts, theories, and practices in business and banking. Yes?
It's quite difficult for us in Indonesia because the Ministry of Higher Education requires us that master students should be able to develop instead of just apply. As applying concept is for rigid and students. It's quite difficult. We believe that it will be difficult for us to measure that learning outcome. And I also believe that it's very difficult for the student.
Absolutely. Thank you again. That is a really important point where we will look at the level of accomplishment for a master's program versus a bachelor's program. So apply or demonstrate, those are good verbs for bachelor's programs. When we get to the master's program, we're looking for more analysis, right? Or solutions. And tomorrow I will share some verbs that are, we often use Bloom's taxonomy. Are you familiar with Bloom's? Yes. Okay. And you know, they'll have that ranking of levels, which is exactly what you are talking about for sure. Yes, yes. So, and again, when we go through this in detail tomorrow, we can actually rewrite any of these that we want to, right? We will use that. And we'll have, you know, those of you who are teaching those master students will take the lead on helping us come up with what we want to say. Those of you who teach in the various bachelor's programs will help us with those. And we'll be done. Yes? Good. Okay. So if we scroll down to the Bachelor of Accounting, I think, oh, we can stop here. Here's where we're going to spend more time tomorrow because your end of subject, your objective, and what your target for your students is excellent. The results, it looks like you're testing in every subject. from year one, right? So again, we only want to see end of program. Yeah. So the way it's written is great, but the instrument you use to measure will be a little bit different. Okay. It won't be several instruments. Okay.
So it means only the last of the when they have to finish the problem, not the it's the subject.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So it's assumed that in year one, they may have an introduction to business class, or I like to use accounting because it's accounting is very step by step, and they have a lot of rules. Okay, so it's easy to use. If you're a business student and you take accounting 1, okay, that's very important. That's a building block. You can't take intermediate accounting until you understand accounting 1 to financial, managerial, etc., right? So, but by the end of the program, if you can solve complicated accounting problems, then of course you know accounting, early financial accounting and managerial accounting again. So we don't need you to, internally, for your department, you will want to gather that information. You will want to keep doing that, right? We just don't want to, okay? So,
a capstone program to test our student understanding or any kind of learning outcome. Say, for example, we can use a thesis exam as a capstone program to assess our student. Is it correct, Emily?
it is very correct, yes. In fact, you have a thesis up here. Number 2 is your end of program, but it's your thesis. If you look on the right, you have a presentation and your research contents, etc. But what we want to see there is what is the goal. The goal should be related to specific ISLO. So we'll rewrite that. Because it doesn't matter, just like whether or not, this is why we don't use grades. We do not use grades. Grades often encompass more than one specific ISLO, right? So if you have a grade on, say, a capstone paper, that may include your attendance in the class, although I don't think it would be, but it could be something that is not being measured. And we want to be really specific about pulling things out of your capstone class, and that's where that rubric comes in, which I have a couple of those, one for each program, yes. And that's tied those back, yes.
So if we use a thesis exam as a capstone program, capstone test, so we have to prepare for the rubric.
Yes. So I teach a capstone class, and what we've done in my school is an application project. We have a grading rubric, and that's 3rd grade. Right below that, we have a rubric for the ISLOs. So while I'm grading the student, I've read their work, I've assessed it for a grade, and now I'm assessing it against each ISLO. And I think that's easier than trying to combine them, if that makes sense. Yeah. Have you shared the rubrics with everyone? Okay, great.
Discussion regarding the mission. You mentioned that our mission is what our students want to be after graduating. So our focus should be on students. But in our country, it's very common to have a mission consists at least of 3. The third one is community service or community outreach. In addition to those 3 pilots, we have we can add some mission related to government and collaboration. In this context of this ICT accreditation, we need to revise our mission, just focusing on students, or we can do all the three pillars of education and adding to other missions such as collaboration and digital governance.
Very good. So, did everyone hear all that? Yes? So, your mission for your business unit includes more than just the student, although the student is very important. So, when you apply for full accreditation, which we're going to go through in the training, we cover all of that. This piece, this outcomes assessment plan, we've taken out the student. This is our focus on student. There are 9 principles that you will address questions for, and they will cover a variety, global ethics, services, student services, advising, all kinds of things, community, innovation. And so this is just one piece. But the reason we start with the outcomes assessment plan is that at the beginning of your year, you have to start gathering data. So we have to have this ready to be able to start gathering data for the next year. And then while you're gathering data for student outcomes, you will write this big document called accreditation. So yes, you're just ahead of me. Okay, yes, yes, okay, excellent. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit, and I'm just gonna summarize a couple here. Why don't we take it down to the next table? You're gonna have to go way down past the results to the Bachelor of Accounting, which I could probably tell you what page that is.
Accounting.
What page is it? This is that page, or it doesn't have a page? Okay. Sorry. Here we are. Yes, excellent. Okay. So if we're using this, if we're thinking now about a specific, focused, measurable item, that's what we want to do here in our accounting. So if we look at number 3, students will be able to analyze financial statements, audit reports, tax liability reports, information technology-based cost reports. Yes, excellent. Number 2, students will master basic concepts of financial reports. Accounting faculty, can we measure that? What do we mean by mastery?
Understand.
Okay. Saying that they understand, right? So I would probably say we'll demonstrate mastery. 4 and 5, excellent. You can see that in 4, they're asked to apply, which is very appropriate for a bachelor's program, and particularly for accounting, because this is what accountants do, right? Yeah, asking students to design. Okay, can you measure that? Yes, absolutely. They created something, and we're going to look at it, and we're going to decide, yes, this is good. So, excellent here, okay. 4 programs. So we'll just address all of that tomorrow when we go through it, yes? Okay. So then we'll scroll down to the next degree, which is the Bachelor of Management. So several more pages, my apologies. There you are. Yes, excellent. Okay. So let's let's look at these, and I'm going to see if you all, can we measure what students have? How do we measure what students have? What do we ask them to do?
From my point of view, if they have the same English, they should be able to solve some problem.
Yeah, to demonstrate in some way, either answer questions, solve problems, create something, right? So instead of having, we want them to demonstrate critical thinking, right? Or something like that. In some way, determine what that is. So, and analyzing and making solutions. They can demonstrate by answering complicated questions. They can demonstrate by some type of capstone project. Right? So by using a word like demonstrate or apply, then you narrow it down more by your measurement instrument, whatever you're going to use, and your rubrics. Okay. So number 3, okay, they're analyzing again. Boy, they're working hard here. Okay, number 4, students will utilize technology to increase efficiency and effectiveness of business management. What do we think?
Yeah, I think we could measure how to use management to accounting to and so on.
Sure. So utilize technology. Maybe they're using a spreadsheet in finance class, or the system management class. Maybe they are using, so whatever tools they will need to do it. Now the last one, and again, is in the types of words that you can use. You know, if you've asked them to create a project plan, then they're creating. So it depends on what you're asking them to do, right? Okay, great. So the last one is if we can scroll down to the last program, which is the Bachelor of Sharia Economics. Learning outcomes here, and I would say many of them have, so I know this is very different as they go through us, that your students do, okay, at the end, so. Okay, that was a lot on student learning outcomes. And again, if you're confused, it's okay. Very okay. Yes. I'm going to I know Dr. Christiana's worked on this for a really long time, and we're still conversing. We're still talking about this. It's difficult, and even as many accreditation plans that I look at, I still sometimes have questions. So it's a good thing. Okay. So tomorrow let's see, how are we doing on time?
Okay, after this, we start our break, and then we will have a C2 director and vice director to this session. So, okay, so yes.
Okay. Yes, get into these. This is to let you know kind of what we'll be working on tomorrow. But again, I want you to know we're just making tiny changes, right? So we'll look at the assessments, but the thing to remember for your assessments is you cannot use grades. Okay? If you want to use an exam, then you need to indicate the questions on the exam that will demonstrate compliance, that they have accomplished a specific ISLO. So for instance, let's say your graduating students have an exam they all take, and it has 100 questions. You have 6 ISLOs in that program. So what we will ask you to do is to tell us which questions will demonstrate their achievement of ISLO 1. So it might just be a chart where it says ISLO 1, questions 3, 12, 24, 39, etc. Right? So another way is to use a project, capstone, case study, whatever depends on your area, right, the subject. And then you would have a rubric, which you have created for knowledge of accounting. We will, what I'd like her, so those who are counting, will, that's fine. Which is so before change. So as you mentioned, you know.
The next session spot. That would be great. I won't maybe take some notes too. Okay. Okay. For the sessions, maybe the Professor Kapik Suryani from the Vice Rector of the Academics, and then Dr. Lutfi from the Dean of the Faculty of Economic and Business. Maybe can explain how about the participation when we do it and the self-study and outcome assessment plan.
I invite you to be here. Yes, I know that this is Mr. Lutfi, so I asked him. Yes. Thank you very much for your time. Here I would like to explain about how we are as a team to do the many requirements for the instrument of international accreditation from EICPA. And if we read the document of self-evaluation, there are 9 principles. There are 9 principles, and it must inform all the team of the international accreditation. The team is headed by the chairman of Louisiana, and I am also actively exploring as the advisor. And we inform documents from undergraduate of management, Syariah economics, and also accounting, and also from the graduate program of Master of Management. And other tribes to divide the responsibility to do all these principles. Firstly, is about the commitment to integrity, responsibility, and ethical behavior. In Universitas Hayam Wuruk Perbanas, some of the policy is centralized by the university, and some of is the autonomy of the study program and also the faculty. So we create, we divide the responsibility also based on the situation in my university. So, like for the principal one, principal one.
It will usually be both. Because you're probably.
Of course, it will be led by the first sector for academic affairs.
There we go.
Okay. There are some aspects that we will work on that section. In our campus, we have academic, some academic group related to our faculty and students. For example, for students, we have what's called student. So I think the first part of the principal should be led by the first sector for academic affairs, and also supported by the first sector for student affairs, disability. Because in that context, from my point of view, it should cover not only for lecture but also for students, and also maybe for the whole network of our institution, including the top management. Okay, maybe for the first part, and the second part, quality assessment and enforcement again, it should be part of top management. Should be led by the first. Start from the top, that is head by Dr. Luciana at the certificate level, and supported by some quality student junior at faculty level and also at study program level. So it's a good idea if this part of the preparation of the second part should be led by the first sector for academic affairs. And the third one, fantasy planning. We have fantasy planning at university level and also at faculty level. So it should be a combination of team from rectorate, from the top management, and also from the dean. From the dean, it should be myself, also it's supported by the vice dean. But for the time being, we have got vice dean yet. Because previously I'm the vice dean, and Prof. is the dean, and I was just appointed at the beginning of this month, and the vice dean will expected to be appointed at the beginning of next month. So next month we will have vice dean for academic affairs. So it should be a combination of two departments, that is at faculty level and also at rector level. And this is curriculum and learning opportunity. It should be led by the vice dean for academic affairs that collaborate with our study program, head study program. We have 4 study programs in this accreditation, that is head of accounting department, head of bachelor accounting, head of bachelor in management, head of bachelor in study economics, and also head of master management. So it should be supported by those 4 head of study program. In each of study program, and because they have been enforced from the beginning, and it started from 3 years ago, I believe that they have good understanding about the principle. This faculty granting activity process, it should be led by the dean, myself, the dean myself, and also supported by the vice dean. Policy, procedure, and process. I'm not sure what the principal number six. This is the process, procedure, and process applying for faculty of business, applying for the whole university. For the whole university. Because it's applying for the whole university, this should be led by Gurusi. Yeah. Because Gurusi collect all the procedure for our process here. So
Admission policy will be also. Admission policy.
oh, admission policy. Admission policy, yeah. But maybe Gurusi will let this principal and collaborate with Gulindi as the first actor for student affairs. Resources should be led by the first sector for general affairs. Yeah, for general affairs. Yeah, should be led by the first sector for the general affairs. That is, Ibu Dr. Supriyati. Because resources cover not only physical resources but also some maybe related to human resource. Maybe related to, because in our campus we don't mention general affairs, but this is what is it? Resources. We just the term of resources. Resources cover human resource and also physical resources.
And library.
Library is under the five sector for academic affairs. But in terms of the in terms of purchasing the collection is still under the five sector for the affairs. Okay, and then extra relationship, we need your help, to learn this principle. Dr. Mahasara is the head of research. To be led by Ibu Lindi, the vice director for student and corporation. But supported by Mahasara, and of course by Bu Lufi Yuana Mustika. Okay, and then the last one, number three. Because it involved two departments here, because some part of innovation is under the control of Dr. Mahazaro as the research and community service department, but when it focuses on the faculty business, it should be led for the time being. It should be led by the dean of faculty and business. Because for the time being, as I mentioned, we don't have vice president for academic affairs. So for the time being, it is led by the dean of the faculty of academic and business. And if next month we have the vice dean, of course it is supported by the vice dean for academic affairs. I think that's all the way we define our task. Of course, it's not easy one. It's a great job. It's very challenging. But as Laura mentioned, please relax. Relax. Do our job. Please don't be under pressure. Of course, it is not easy. It's not easy. Because as what we learned from Pak Agung and Bu Caci, they need about 2 years to prepare for the accreditation conducted today. But with support from all of you all and also from Lowry Yates, we believe that we can complete all the document, study and also IOP, maybe in six months, hopefully. 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 Okay, so the member for the first principle, yeah, the member of the principle, of course, all the 5 sectors to be the member, yeah, and commitment, integrity, responsibility, and ethical behavior. Maybe menurut the main point one officer yang answer from accounting department. Kemudian Widya Puji, ya, Widya Puji from Bachelor of Accounting and from all. Well, maybe you can call upon who's lecturer that to be the head of college student in study program. Bu Ika, and one maybe Pak Basuki, and one would be the secretary of the team. Sorry. So we have William already. Yeah. We have William already. We have Bularas. Okay. Start explaining all the first sector. And maybe for this point, maybe only the secretary is Budevi. Okay, and business curricula. We need from Pak Basuki. Terus from accounting to Luffy. SK, yeah, maybe it's good if someone will involve literally on preparing for the SK. Guru, and maybe the secretary Bu Fitra. And then for business technical activity, this is we inform already the head of study program about it. Yeah. So the member. Okay. Yeah. So everybody the member should have it. What we need is only the secretary. So Pak Basuki and Guru maybe put in other principle.
Guru itu kemahasiswaan. Guru Mustafi. Oke, banyak. Nurul Mustafiza involved in many activities in students.
Okay, we can move Pak Basuki and Nurul to another principle. Yeah. This is important. Who is the leader?
It's about the lecture like this. Faculty qualification.
We can look back at the PowerPoint. So, this is a process, led by first sector for development results. And it is supported by the member to be the head of all the head of study program. Yeah, all the head of study program, the member of that. I need to Devi for the secretary. Devi, the secretary. Number 5. For number six. The secretary, maybe I need Budian. Process. First center. Actually, in this aspect, I need the support from Bu Nurul because she is the member of budgeting team. Yeah, Bu Nurul. Yeah, Nurul Asana. Yeah, Bu Nurul. Asana and Nurul Sahitra. And Bapak Nurul. Yeah, Bu Nurul because you know where about our budgeting preparation. Yeah. And external licensing, I think there should be one member of our team, Pak Kausa.
To ask, do you need someone to help you as a member of the external?
Partner. Yes, of course. Kulfi is already good. Kulfi is already good. But we may add partner because he involved greatly in preparing for our student for the program for our student. He also developed our team. Yeah. Innovation and research. Yeah, of course, we need support from all the head of study program. The head of study program. And one secretary to know well about our business process in education. Kemudian benar-benar sebagai sekretarinya karena tahu banyak. You know well about the process and our education because she is the member of PPN, survey, yeah, every year, every semester. Okay, just if done, preparing for the person responsible for preparing our document. Yeah, from our heart, we believe that we can achieve this target well. Yeah.
Is everybody already involved in this and all principles?
Of course, tomorrow we will learn what this standard. About this principle, we are joining a 2-day workshop led by Laurie tomorrow. So hopefully, we expect greatly that all of us will join a 2-day workshop tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Maybe for the time being, it's quite confusing us because we don't read the guided well. But I believe that after attending the workshop, yeah, you will get good insight about how to prepare our document. And there is a gentleman that we are not foreigners. So sometimes we make some mistake when asking or maybe answering question. So is correct? Yeah. Serialize. And sometimes if we got some difficulty in expressing our, that not that, and Laurie know that not all Christians will speak English fluently. Foreigners come to our country and they speak bahasa, yeah, speak bahasa. Of course, they make a lot of these things. As long as we know, we understand what they are talking. Okay, berarti Okay, maybe we need some suggestion maybe from all regarding our the way we create, we build our team to prepare the
Questions? So I'm going to do it, and then thank you. So,
if Pak Wali, Bu Nurul, Pak Burhan, we want to add more members. Yeah, more members. Especially Pak Wali, because we have only one master program. Yeah. You can, after this program, late afternoon, maybe tomorrow, or still feel free. But I hope that we can invite him to join tomorrow workshop.
This is amazing. Okay. This is the important step. Even if you change after the workshop, you may move people taking ownership from the beginning of each of these areas. So this is very important. When we finish tomorrow, after hearing all of your questions and discussion, but this is one of the top items on that list, is to get organized from the beginning. And the other thing is to begin to reach out to other departments who you need help from. So there are questions about admissions, there are questions about financial aid, there are questions about advising. And if these are done from other areas in your institution, you're going to need their input. And they're busy people too. So it's great to start early, send out your request for information, or meet with them, and that kind of thing. But you can't do that unless you know who's going to do it. So this is great. This is a wonderful start. Thank you. Is this for this part? I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the fun part. We get to have fun. Oh, before we have fun, tomorrow I would very much like you to ask questions if you're comfortable, and it does not have to be in English. We have many people here who can listen to your questions and then translate for me. Okay? And we have plenty of time to do that. And in many of our non-US schools, we often have translators there. So this is very important. We want you to, so in translation, we can lose a little bit of understanding. That's why questions are important. So thank you for bringing that up, yes. So for the fun part, before we break for lunch, I would like to get to know the faculty a little bit more. So I was wondering if some of you might volunteer. What is the best thing about working at this university? No bosses are allowed to answer.
Between student and lecturer, between lecturer and lecturer, and between lecturer and the teacher, the management.
Yeah. So it's very,
we are like family.
it's very uncommon in Asia that there is a scene between the leader, the head of the department, the head of the faculty dean, and also the director sector with a lecturer. It's so close. It is one is other, but we don't need to mention Pak Rector, just Dr. Zuki. We don't need to say the vice rector, we just say Portal. That's good for us. And in some department, we have weekly lunch party conducted by bachelor in accounting, also bachelor in management. We have lunch together at the each level. So the communication and also the collaboration also between us is very good, as Buma Asara mentioned, and also with students.
Thank you. A similar question is, and this may apply more to some of those of you who are newer. Why did you choose this university in the beginning? Why?
New lectures. This is a new lecture to answer this question.
My graduates.
Graduate from Perbanas campus.
And then continue in Kacamata University and now here.
To be the lecturers here. Please.
And also the music.
Okay, Guru, please. Oh, please, maybe other lectures.
No, maybe in Bahasa Indonesia and maybe Guru can translate it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. First, I think the academic atmosphere is Hayam Perbanas is good, so I chose to be the part of University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas. The atmosphere of academic.
Maybe additional information for me is that my previous motivation is because the governance of the university is very conducive, and we were as the students of this university before felt like the nuance are friendly, and then we have a lot of opportunities to develop ourselves, like joining competitions and other kinds of activities that provide us more insights or academics.
Right. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Anyone else?
Last?
Oh,
yes.
Puisi beda bisa bahasa Indonesia, nanti di kelasnya apa? Kita akhirnya saya.
Oh iya.
Beda bisa bahasa Indonesia. Iya, maybe.
Bularas alumni from Gajah Brawijaya.
Bularas atau Bu Zubaida. Yeah, because we need Bularas and Bu Zubaida, we need another perspective, lecture that not come from our campus.
Indonesia Indonesia. Saya memilih Hayam Perbanas karena di sini lingkungannya yang sangat baik, rekan-rekan kerja yang sangat mendukung satu sama lain, dan di sini kami juga diberikan dorongan untuk terus mengembangkan diri sesuai dengan bakat dan minat sesuai dengan konsentrasi masing-masing.
Yeah, Miss Laura mentioned that she chose Hayam Perbanas as the place for her career because she felt the friendly environment of this campus and also a supportive colleagues, which is very helpful each other. And also there are a lot of space for self-development for each competencies of the faculty member.
Excellent, thank you for that. Okay, last question. This is the no bosses may answer this question. Okay. So if you had a magic wand and you can wish for anything, there are no problems with money, government, barriers, nothing. So what would you wish for this university?
Jadi kalau nggak ada masalah apa-apa, semua oke, gitu ya. Apa yang kita harapkan dari
Is he answering?
Apa yang ada kampus ini? Apa yang kita harapkan? Please. Pak Rani.
It can be anything. It can be
apa yang diharapkan?
Inventory.
That's the most important.
Ya nanti kalau kita itu
saya nanti salah nanti.
Oh iya.
Terlalu baik-baik nanti. Kan terus
Ya saya berharap kampus ini menjadi besar dan bisa berkontribusi bagi masyarakat, bangsa dan dunia.
So, Dr. Roni has the inspirations and the hope for the University of Vancouver, only for the students, but also to the environment, to the country, and to the worldwide.
I think that's a great place to stop, right? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, I think next on our agenda is lunch.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. For the next session, that we have a lunch in the third floor, and that we have for the next session is tour of the campus, and then after that, we have exhibiting. Yeah. Thank you. So enjoy your lunch. Yes. In the third floor. Upload some topic that in the Google Drive, so maybe that, and we discuss the topic that we have upload to in the Google Drive, so all of the member or of the participant can be look at the all of the files, so maybe it's easy for the our workshop tomorrow, and then maybe that have any questions about the for the tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. I first of all want to say again how well put together your candidacy work has been. So thank you. A lot of what we'll be diving into or talking about tomorrow. So there are a couple of small things that Dr. Luciana is going to fix on the application form. And then what we have left to do is minor changes and then work on the instruments and the operational instruments in particular, which we will work through tomorrow. Also, while we're doing that, that work that we do tomorrow, you'll have it developed for the candidacy, but then also ready to go for full-time accreditation. For the first-time principle that we're going to look at tomorrow, it has hints and tips for the questions on it. So there's two documents. One is the, also address some of the questions I've heard about the various principles and how they apply to your institution, your programs, and your faculty. Okay. So other than that, I strongly encourage you to download those documents. We do have a projector in the room, and so they'll be up on the big screen. But if you want to have the slides or presentations I have, I will send to Dr. Luciana after we're done, and so that you can have those to refer to as well. And so think of any questions. If you have questions now, I would be happy to answer them. If particular, we will also look at the timeline. So starting now, what's the next step and the next step and the goals and all of that for the next several months, okay? Any questions about today or anything? Besides, I'm not reading PowerPoint to you, the work that you need to do. Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much. I just want should I prepare a short answer of these questions? For example, for doing the principle.
Questions, so they must fill it in some simple sentence.
So we learn from it, and share about the essentials of the principles, and then we discuss further.
Yes, so you have no homework for tonight. So you'll come tomorrow, we'll look at the questions, I will help interpret how we can apply those to your degree programs, right? And then we'll talk about it, and I'll give you some ideas of how schools in the past have answered these questions and how they might apply to your school. So, and that's why if you have a laptop, you can take notes, right? And I do have some tips and answers on slides, so I will bring those, because I know sometimes it's easier to hear and see the words, right? So they'll be there, but we'll do more than just look at PowerPoint. Okay. That was an excellent question. Thank you so much. Yes. Any other questions? Oh, and you should get some sleep tonight, right? Good sleep. Yes, yes. I would like to say thank you again very much. You are a lovely, lovely group and very welcoming, and I greatly appreciate your warmth and how kind and welcoming you've been. I also appreciate all the hard work you've done, because I have been in those seats and done that, so I know how much work it is. So thank you, and I look forward to tomorrow.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished audience, Dr. Lori, and the International Accreditation Team for the University of Hayam Wuruk Perbanas. That's all about the agenda today, the whole agenda today, and we will continue the next agenda in Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, that's all from me. I'm Alif Safira. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oh,